Welcome back, ODHtv, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 8. This one was crazy. Gotta give you my first impression on this one. I just got finished watching it. This one started out with total carnage at Quan's gambling spot. Marvin and the crew decided to take out Unique's Connect. They murked everybody. Now this was the best intro to a Raising Kanan episode so far. But they decided since they were going to take him out anyway, they were going to rob him. And Quan tried to play hard when they asked him for the combination, but Marvin murked two of his guys right in front of him. Then he just asked to live.
You let me live.
They found the diamonds, Marvin let him know who he was and took him out. The next scene was Lou and Imani. They started off by ambushing me with Lou's butt. I could have went the rest of my life without seeing that. But the point of this scene, I guess, was that she wanted to get Lou to talk about his mother's death. Next scene.
Brother B. Rilla.
So Kenyatta and the other member of the crew that survived the last robbery run up on B. Rilla to let him know they're going to force him to do another robbery at the Wright House this time.
And you're going to help us do that, willingly or unwillingly.
This is a prediction that came true from one of my other videos. Meanwhile, Rock is keeping an eye on Unique. Kanan is still looking for OC. Jukebox wants to know if he talked to his mother yet. He tells her he's going to, but she says she'll do it because it's better if a female goes and talks to her than some angry boy.
He said you might know put down Fame.
And this is where this goofy dude tells her that he thinks his mother put down Fame. Of course, Jukebox doesn't believe it.
What do you think Nick came back?
So we found OC. He's at Unique's tailor shop waiting for him to get back. He's scared to death, thinks that Kanan knows that he took the money and he wants some money from Unique so he can get out of town.
This goofy ass motherfucker. What, nigga?
So when Unique gets back, OC keeps pressing him for money so he can get out of town because he's scared of what Kanan might do to him. That's when Akbar tells him that his Connect is dead. Unique loses his mind.
I gotta go, Nick.
But OC kept pressing.
Now you f***ing gone!
Whole crew scared to death. So back at the studio, B. Rill is trying to lay down the track, but he can't focus because he knows he's being forced into a robbery. He gets Lou alone and tells him the whole story about the robbery and what Kenyatta wants to do to him. And so now Lou knows he has to handle it. Rock has a meeting with Hafiz, the new Connect, who says the product will be there within a week.
Jersey's saying we need to sit tight.
But Unique is not trying to hear that. He wants to go at Rock hard. And that is when Detective Garcia walks in and wants to speak with Unique alone. But of course, Unique gives him nothing.
You should have stayed on that vacation, Unique.
You never lied, 5-0.
And then we have this scene. Is this not the first time we see Snaps and Pops outside in the daytime? They're usually somewhere sitting in the dark like the vampires of the community. But however, this might be the most important scene of the whole show. Because here is where we find out who took out Famous.
So hoping you can reach out to the NYPD Connects.
We'll reach out to our peoples.
And that's when Pops says she'll hit up Pickett and Wyatt. Those are the two cops, and she calls them careless. Snaps and Pops had the cops kill Famous.
Remember that guy that wasn't paying you? What happened to him?
The guy Marvin's talking about is a guy that was mobbed up with Stefano. Early tells him that him and his cousin Londell took him out. Jukebox goes to OC's house to see if he's there. This scene reminds me of a movie called Out of Sight. Stars Jennifer Lopez, Ving Rhames, George Clooney. Jennifer Lopez was an FBI agent looking for one of her suspects, and she goes to the suspect's mother's house to go and find him. Exact same thing happens pretty much. This dude comes to the door and Jukebox asks him if OC is there. He says, yeah, but you gotta come inside. I got something on the stove.
I need you to come inside because I got some shit on the stove.
They get inside, and just like that movie Out of Sight that I referenced, he tries to forcibly get some. But of course, that didn't go as planned.
Where the f*** is OC?
He says he hasn't seen OC in over a week. She said you could have saved yourself a lump on the head if you'd have said that at the door. Rock goes to see David about shipments. David is still so high he doesn't know what's going on. Rock is just too through. Look at her face. Rock says she doesn't see many drivers around. David tells her they lost some people because of payroll issues. Most likely he's using that money and sniffing it.
I can't wait for all your new drugs to come here.
He's gonna have to go soon. He gets pressed, he's gonna snitch quick.
We had you handle little nigga because some of the shit he was saying could track back to us.
Snaps and Pop have a meeting on the rooftop with the two police officers that took out Famous for them. They told him they were sloppy and that an associate of theirs, meaning Kanan, is asking questions. The cops knew who they were talking about because they said the Star Kid, and that they'll go and find out what he knows, or what he thinks he knows.
I'm not going head to head with New York over some gook you think your old girlfriend might have killed.
Unique goes to see Phil Russo to let him know that the Connector's gone. Phil says he's not going to war with anybody. He just wants his money.
Hey, give me my fucking money.
Phil doesn't care if Unique has a Connect or not. He still expects his money. Phil's days could be numbered.
John Boy, my brother.
Hey, here's another one of my predictions that went exactly as I said it. Lou went over here and tried to use name recognition to let him know to leave B-Rilla alone. But Kenyatta and his boy weren't trying to hear it. They decided they gotta take Lou and B-Rilla out.
I need you to press upon your boy Stefano. Let him know we back.
And this is where Marvin comes clean about what happened with him and Stefano and early Tyler.
Nah, Marvin. Now don't say that to me. Not now. Not when we just about to win.
Marvin gonna get that lady a heart attack. Marvin tells her, don't worry about it, I got it.
I got it. You know, that shit should be engraved on your fucking tombstone, Marvin.
Don't you hate when it sounds like foreshadowing? He told her early Tyler and his cousin Londell took out the mob guy. She says you gotta take them both out. He only wants to take out Londell.
We see more of you after you've been dead than when you were alive.
Unique goes to see Snap and Pop to let him know that if they throw in with him, they can make more money than they're making with Kanan. Snap says they want to think about it, they'll talk amongst themselves and they'll get back to him. But Unique says we gotta move fast. Pops is funny. She said he told you he'd get back to you. Now go back home to your coffin or your crypt.
Now head home to your coffin or your crypt or wherever an undead motherfucker like you rested.
She's hilarious. Jukebox and Raquel are at Joyce's house getting Joyce's clothes together. I'm assuming for the funeral. She asked Jukebox if she heard anything about Famous, but she says nobody knows nothing. She also asked what's Kanan talking about, and Jukebox says nothing at all. I thought you would have said something. This is one I got wrong. Marvin has a meeting with Stefano and lets her know that the product is ahead of schedule arriving in New York. Stefano lets him know his people at the port are ready to move. Then Stefano asks Marvin if he's heard anything about his friend being put down in Howard Beach. Marvin tells him no, and Stefano says, well, when he finds out who did it, they're going to be wearing cement slippers. Marvin says, well, I hope they don't come in my size. And then Stefano says,
It's one size fits all, Marvin.
somewhere else in the city, the sanitation department are emptying dumpsters, and that's where we find OC's body. They threw him in the trash. Back at the apartment, Crystal is cooking when Kanan comes home, and he tells her, listen, everything is going wrong. I need you to get out of New York. Go stay with your family in Delaware or Connecticut, but I can't keep you safe. And that's when she tells Kanan, I don't think your mother did that to Famous. You hate her so much that you just blaming her for everything that goes wrong. She didn't do it. But he tells her she needs to leave.
Londell got kids all over the place he don't know nothing about.
This is Londell, early Tyler's cousin. He goes outside to relieve himself, and that's where Marvin finds him. I made a whole video about how I was wrong about this part. Really thought that was Famous. Anyway, that was Londell's 20 seconds of screen time. And Rock's product did come early.
Yo! We found OC.
Self-explanatory.
But them niggas ain't done with you or me because I stepped in on your stupidness.
Unbeknownst to B-Rilla, Lou has a plan. He's been doing this for a long time, and he knows to look over his shoulder, and he knows Kenyatta is watching.
They could be in there all day.
Then we'll wait.
Crystal goes to see Rock and lets her know that all of Kanan's friends are dying, and she's scared he's going to do something that he regrets. Raquel wants to know what Kanan's thinking. She says you have to ask him. She tells Raquel she has a bus to catch and she's getting out of town. But she also says you're his mother. He needs somebody right now. Rock tells her there's only but so much a mother can do. Crystal says her mother used to say the same thing when she didn't want to take accountability for the messed up things she did. Kanan goes to the wake, daps up young Ghost, and asks if anybody knows what happened with OC, but nobody knows anything. OC's whole body almost fit in that picture frame. Crystal gets on a bus to leave town, and those same two cops that Snaps and Pop have on the payroll come on the bus and take her away.
There's some questions you need to answer about Sean Figueroa.
And Crystal gets kidnapped. Here's a short clip from the next episode. They got her locked up in a dungeon somewhere. This looks like one of the horror movies I recap. You should check them out.
The other one's not out yet.
Kenyatta and company waited all day into the night for B-Rilla and Lou to come outside. What they didn't know is Lou had a plan.
Jumbo, niggas.
And when he took out Kenyatta, he looked him in the eye, and it felt too good to him. It ends with older Kanan narrating about the game, saying it's like a drug, and how dudes that are in it fiend for it. Looks like Lou is back and ready to go. Let me know what you think in the comments about this episode. I thought this one was excellent. I'll be back in the next one.
Player to player, I mean. Games that you playing, I seen. The chance that I'm taking, I mean. These things that I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I really need. I don't even know if you're feeling me.